Okay, before then let me share my screen. So what we are seeing is, yeah. So at the end of the entire program, right, you will be able to do you will be able to use all of those capabilities. And as you said, like you want to do machine learning capabilities, right? Okay, fine. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you will be able to use your machine learning capabilities. You will be able to use any Python, whatever Python programming you want to do for getting data, for using visualization. And we will also cover two of the visualization modules in Python. That is Matplot library, and Seaborn, right? Using that, we will create visualizations. That will be in addition to the Power BI course, right? So all of those capabilities also we'll see at the towards the end of this class, right? Toward the end of this session, entire session. So we'll see all of those capabilities even. For now, we will learn, how we can get our data, how we can pre-process our data, make our data ready for all the visualization creations, right? We will start with this. We'll start the very basic things, and gradually we'll move towards the advanced part. Fine. Now, so you are working on automobile. Anybody working on any different sector?
I'm working on finance data set.
Finance. Okay. Working on finance. Then so we have finance and automobile sector. And anything else? Anyone? Any other sector? Yeah. So what I can do, right? I will just finance. Okay, finance sector. You will get some of the not purely the finance thing, but yeah, some of the budgeting and all these things with these data sets, whatever we have, we'll see that. And also I will try to get different data set using either for the automobile sector and the finance sector, right? And we'll give the assignment on those. Okay. And what we'll be using, as I was mentioning, that we'll be using the AdventureWorks cycle data from Microsoft SQL Server. Okay, simple data set. So now let's see what we have what we have in our agenda for this session. So today we'll see the Power BI fundamentals. Okay. So before we go ahead, have you installed the Power BI?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So everyone has installed, right? Yeah. If you have not installed, please install it. And how you can install it? As I was mentioning, that you just go to the Power BI site, Microsoft site, and you have the direct link for trial. Okay. Installation. So you can, and it is free for all. Installing this Power BI desktop is free. You can install it for your whatever 64-bit machine, or I'm just showing it. Power BI desktop installation. Desktop download and 64-bit. You can just go directly there and go to Microsoft site, right? And this is just exe file, so it is as installation will be similar as the other one, right? You can go to this place, right? And go to advanced, and here you will see the different options like language and all those things. I may not be getting it. Yeah. So okay, I have some other, so I have to clear these cookies and all. Right. I will see. Like you can just go to this place. Okay, you can go to this place and download from there. and installation is just click on the exe file, and it will be installed. So it is very easy. There is no special things required for installing this software. Okay, so yeah, do install this before next class. And I would say, like, immediately after this class, you just install it, and we'll see. Yeah. Now we'll just go ahead with our session, and what we have to do. Like here, we'll go for the with the Power BI fundamentals. Then we'll know the interface. Okay, the different options available, and how we can get data, and the environment settings. We'll see the basic cleanings, right? Here, before we go ahead with the tool, right, you have to understand why do we use the visualization, what is the purpose of visualization. Okay, and if we are using Power BI tool, what is our goal to use this tool, right? So before you do any work, right, any visualization work, you must have your goal set, right? So what we are doing with Power BI, we are just representing our raw data. Raw data means in the tabular format, the data is there, right? And that raw data may be in tables, database tables, maybe in some files, right? So anywhere we may have this. So that data we are trying to visualize using a graphical or visual representation, right? And why do we need graphical or visual representation? To check our raw data. If you see any file, any text file, it may not be you will not be able to find the trends, you will not be able to find the patterns, right? Or any such thing just by seeing it. Okay, if the same data is seen through graphical or visual representation, you will be able to identify, you will be able to easily identify those trends, outliers, or patterns, anything, right? And you can make your decision just by seeing those data. You can make a decision, right? By seeing the that is called making a data driven decisions. Okay, based on your visuals, based on the charts, based on the dashboard you will be creating, right? So ultimate goal is to make some decision, just make some decision, seeing your data, seeing your dashboard visuals, right? So that will be ultimate goal. And yeah, so we are just with this tool, we are just going to visualize our data in graphical form, right? And here you can this is a definition, right? uh, so visual representation, data visualization, why it is used. Visualization is the use of visual representation to explore, make sense of, and communicate data. Ultimately, we want to communicate this, whatever outcome will be there from our visualization. We will be communicating with our stakeholders, maybe customers, okay, and different stakeholders, board members, something like that, or for making some, that whatever visuals we are showing in our data, that that should make some sense, okay, for our business, right? Somewhere maybe the business is losing, right? Somewhere it is getting more profit. So so all of those things, right? And getting seeing all of those trends and all those things, we may want to take further action. So all of these things we want to explore the data, okay, using the visual representations. So that we have to understand before using any visual, any charts, right? Or any visual representation we want to use. So why we want to use, we have to first ask that question, what we are getting from that visual. We have to ask that question first, right? Then only we'll be able to show our data properly and for for a purpose, right? Yeah. So those were some definitions on visuals, like why do we use visuals, and what are we going to, what we have to think before we use a visual, fine, and what should be the outcome of those visuals. Now in the Power BI side, right, in this tool, that this tool, Power BI tool and like tools, there are so many tools in the market. So Power BI and the similar tools, what it will do, the goals whatever we have in this case, right, in this case whatever data we want to communicate to our customer, right, Power BI will help us to utilize their capability, Power BI's capability, to explore, or to represent the data, raw data, in the pictorial form, right, in the graphical form, for visual representation, right. So now Power BI will give us that capability. In this tool, we have different set of tools, again, different set of capabilities. One is we have for creating or building or analyzing our data, for building reports, creating reports, for creating dashboard. We have the tool called Power BI Desktop. Okay, this is desktop based tool, and this is with you have to download it, and you can create all of this with this tool. We'll be able to model our data set, whatever data set we'll be having, right, data set we'll be using, whatever data we want to visualize through this, through reports, through dashboard. We have to model that data to analyze, and data we want to analyze, we want to visualize. So for visualizing or analyzing the data, we have to prepare our data, we have to clean our data, we have to get it in a correct form, right. For that, we have to make some transformations in the data. So what are the different transformations we may be having? We may be calculating, we may be creating, columns, we may be removing columns, or unwanted data we may want to remove. We want to remove the junk values and all those things, right? And we have different transformations, right? So we will see all of these transformations. So to visualize and analyze our data, we have to get a clean data. For clean data, we have to transform our data, right? And to here, if we have different sources, data coming from different sources, in that case, we have to also integrate the data at a single place. And as you may be doing with ETL or any other, even with the database, you are getting different tables, and for creating a single query, right? Joining it or unioning it or doing something, right? So in that case, here we have to create a model to integrate our data from different sources, right? So that is the model. So what we will have in Power BI Desktop, we will be having the reporting, we will be having the transformations option, we will be having the models, right? And we'll have the capabilities to check our data, raw data, fine. So this is one set of tool, Power BI Desktop. There's another cloud service. For the same, we can create the report, even we can edit the report in Power BI service. We'll see all of those, okay, in Power BI service. So once you have built your report, once you have created your dashboard report in Power BI Desktop, that has to be shared with your customer or with the business, right? So that for sharing or to utilize that report, to utilize the dashboard, that has to be published somewhere, okay, and that is done to the cloud service, Power BI cloud service. Okay, once you have completed everything, you will be publishing this to Power BI cloud service. And Power BI Cloud Service will have all the capabilities to share and collaborate, right? Share and collaborate means you are working in a project, right? Your company may have different departments. So different departments people will be interacting with each other, with the dashboard, with the reports, right? So your team will be able to see only your data. So you want to share with them the data, right? You want to share with them the report, the dashboard, and collaborate and talk to them, right? Okay, how it looks, and uh, the decisions you want to make, so you can discuss with them, right? Collaborating with them. So all those can be done using the Power BI Cloud Service. So you can share the visuals with others, make start discussions. Yeah, and we have the different tools even there, right? Chatting tools and all those things. And you can share, just getting the visuals, right, and share with others, so that you will be able to do that in Power BI Cloud Service. So we will see how we can share. No, the transformations are not done in services. Okay, the transformations only done in the Power BI desktop. Okay, so only what we do in Power BI services, right? We mostly only do small changes. Okay, we do small changes if even though we can add visuals. Okay, even though we can do many things there. Okay, for creating dashboards and all those things, dashboard will be created there, and the reporting and all those things. So but we usually, if we have just a small changes, we do in the Power BI Cloud Services. Otherwise, we come back to Power BI Desktop, and we make all of our changes in Power BI Desktop only. It's easy in Power BI Desktop, right? So yeah, that we can.
Or is it like a front end, right? You're telling like Power BI Cloud Service, it's like visualization. We can see like front end.
Yeah, yeah. In that's a, you can just say a page. Okay, yeah, the URL page. You will have a URL, and just by just going to that, you will able to see. You will be able to access the data as you are seeing in different pages, right? Different sites. That will be kind of a site. Okay, and that will be access. The access will be given to a particular set of people only, so only those people will be able to see, whoever will be having the access. Okay, so that is a front end, as you rightly said.
Yes, sir, I got it.
Yes. So we'll see that. We'll see all those things. Fine. And the same, we will be able to create the report for desktop, and also we will be able to create this report for mobile. The same report we can change it to mobile using Power BI, in Power BI service. So we'll see all of those, how we can create even in Power BI service, or here also we'll see in desktop. We'll also create in desktop, like how we can create these to mobile, the UI to mobile. Okay, that we'll see. And this will be consumed, the mobile, right? Mobile Power BI on mobile will be consumed once the report is published to the Power BI service. Okay, fine. So that only after that only you will be able to consume the report through mobile, right? We'll see all of this going forward one by one, right? Let's see. Let's open this Power BI. Sorry, I have to change maybe. So the very first page, once you open Power BI, right, Power BI desktop, the very first page you are getting this, right? If you are licensed user, then you can directly sign in, to publish your report. Here you can see that you can just get started and you can sign in to publish your report. Fine. So now we are not going to do that. We will be seeing this later. Okay. You can sign in to see the Power BI service, and in that Power BI service, the organizational content can be shared, and share the insight on organizational content and all these things. So we'll see all of these things later. Now here on the UI, right, we have three. Here you can see we have three views on the UI. What are those three views? Okay, those are report view. You can see here there's a view called report view. Another view is called data view. It will we'll be able to see the data, entire set of data, and here you can see the models. Okay, we can create our model. So everything can be done. So as I think I also mentioned in the demo, right, that modeling this capability nowadays almost many of the tools are giving this capability to create this model. Okay, earlier we used to have a separate tool even to create a model in other tools, right? Now you are getting all of these in a single tool. Okay, here you can see we'll see all of these things. So these are the three views where here you will create your visualization, your charts, all of these charts available here. And apart from that, you will get this data, raw data view, right? And here you can see lot of ribbon is there, right? And this data set, data options. So once we get, right, once we get more data, you will see there will be more options available in these cases. Okay, now here now we are the one of the most important part of this tool, right? This is Power Query. Transform your data. Here you can see transform your data, right? This is one of the most important part where we will do most of our work. Power Query Editor, right? So here we'll be applying different transformations. All the transformations we'll do using this Power Query Editor. Fine. Now let's get our first data. Okay. So let me just see. Okay. So we have just seen this all these three views we have, and the Power Query Editor, and we'll get our data. Okay. First we'll get our data, then we'll see okay, before we go to before we go with the data, we want to just discuss this environment settings. What environment settings? What are these? Global variables and local variables. Okay. So once you here fine. Here you can see, like, okay, this file, now whatever file we have, right, we will be working with you. Maybe we will be working on different local, right? Maybe someone from your team may be working in from USA, and some of you your team may be working from some other place, right? UK. You are working from India, right? In that case, right, if your team members are creating something in USA with their local settings, USA local settings, then you may understand that what is this local setting, or what it does. Local settings are something like, okay, for particular region or for particular place, right, for particular local, they may have different data format options, like date format. They may have different date format. India date format is different, US date format is different, right? or they may have, some other data format, right? 1,000 separators. Maybe we are not showing the 1,000 separators. They are showing something like that, right? There may be something different based on the local. Okay, they are having their own settings. So all of those capabilities are available, right? With the tools, different tools. So we have to first uh, create. You have to first, set the options so that we get we are all in sync. We different team members, whatever we are, wherever we are working from, right? Our data should give the correct result for all of us, right? In that case, you have to always be in sync, and you will need to have, right? You will need to have the same settings for all of you. Otherwise, your data, whatever visuals you will create, may be differing from the other one who is creating in USA. Fine. So that you have to, all of those things you have to set, right? And what settings we are going to do here is, fine. One thing is, like for data load, we are not going to detect column types and headers. We are not going to detect it. Okay, this is one thing. We are not going to detect the headers. Fine. Background data, that's fine. And here there is something called time intelligence. We are taking the auto date time intelligence. Fine. Then we will be going here to regional settings. Here you can see the locales, right? Here we are giving the language, application language as English. If you are changing your application language, then you will see many of the languages will change to some other language. You can try it in a different page. Okay. So this application language, we are keeping it United States. This also model language, we are keeping it United States. Okay. So you can even check with different also. This global settings, all these global settings will be applied to all of the pages here in this file. Wherever whatever pages will be there, automatically it will apply the for all of the data set. It will apply all of these settings, global settings, right? And in current file, only these to apply some setting on the current file, we can just apply this. Okay. So on top of these global settings, whatever global settings we are having, on top of that, we can apply also current settings, current file settings. Okay. So here you can see in this data load, here we are not detecting the type and all, fine. And here in the current file, you can see we have a relationship option. We are not going to import any relationship for our data. Import relationships from data source on first load. We don't want to import. We want to create it ourselves. Okay. Also, auto detect new relationships after data is loaded. We don't want to do this also. Okay. We will create our own, relationship in the model. So yeah, and allow data previews to download in the background. That's fine. All of these are fine. So time intelligence, we are fine. So this relationship, right? This relationship will be created based on the field names and all, common field names and all these things. That will be created. So we are not going to use this. We'll be creating our own relationship and all those things. Fine. And later you can also utilize this option, right? Once you are good with all of these manual things, you can also utilize this, and later you can check, okay, which relationship is working fine, which is not working fine. So all of those you can check and work with your data model. Fine. But for now, we are not going to do this. Okay. Here regional settings. This is English India. We don't want to have this. Otherwise, what will have? the files, right? It will have the regional settings as India. So date format and all those things will be according to India for the current file, whatever current file we have, right? So we don't want to do that. We'll just give United States English. English, United States. Fine. So these are a few settings we are, and also later we'll see the other settings. Some of the other settings we will have, right? So that we'll see later even, right? For now, these settings are enough. One is the regional settings. Okay, regional settings we are going to just set the local that will affect our formatting, some of the formattings, and the current file settings on the regional settings and data load settings. Okay, different data load settings. So these you can make your files also sync with mine, right? So you will have the same result output. So just apply it, and I will give it a name called United States. Yeah.
Sir, I have one question. Sir, actually, when the dashboard is completed and published in the Power BI service,
Hmm.
after then a user have a feature to change the language also.
Hmm.
Like if we have, suppose I have a Spanish user, so
Ah,
they will change the language to Spanish and the
correct.
whole dashboard convert into the Spanish language.
Correct, correct. Yeah, you can do anytime. That's what I mean. But for to keep it in sync while you are, they will be able to change it. Okay, so you can also have it. So that's not an what we are changing it right now, right? We are doing like if I am doing something, okay, you are doing something, and you are from different location, right? The date format will change according to mine, right?
Okay.
So you, if you are having a project of North America, right, and that is based on North America only, so you should set a local of North America kind of, right?
Okay. In
uh,
same PBIX file, the person changes from North America and also we.
Ha ha ha. No, what I'm saying that, see, we are developer, right? So users will be from different places. We are working for a company, okay, which is having business in North America, which is having business in Asia, which is having business in Africa, right? So different users will be seeing their data according to their local, right? uh, According to
Yes, sir.
their local, according to their local, that means if we are working for a project which is US based, right? So our customer will be US based only, right? So we will provide, and but if we have a multinational company, right, okay, from different region, different geographical project or dashboard we are creating for different region, like Africa, US, and you have Spanish people, right? So all those users are from different places are there. So we have to give them option to change the local, so that they can check the data according to their local. Okay, so that is that capability we always need to provide for such kind of project. But if we have a project specific to some particular region, on the US, then we are just giving the local as US. If it is a project of India, then we are just giving a local of India, right? But if it is different local, then we have to provide the option to check to the user, so that they can check the data in their local, right? And this is the capability in almost all of the tools. Everywhere we have these capabilities. Okay, we'll see these things, okay. But for now, what I was telling, that if you are working a project which is having your peers in USA on site, and you are working here, right, and you are working in your local machine, If it is not, if it is not a machine which is provided by customer and connected to cloud, right? If it is not like that, if it is you are having your local machine and you locally set to India in your machine, then in that case, if you are creating something and your peers is creating something, you will not be in sync. Okay, in that case. So because the date will change, you may have seen in many cases the difference of 1 day date because of the local, okay, difference. So
Okay.
that you, yeah, so that you have to check. Okay, you have to also understand that. Also, we'll see all of those things later. If some issues comes, we can always discuss those things. But for now, we are just going to start with our session, and we'll see all of these different settings, different options. Fine. Yeah. Do you have any question?
No, sir.
Okay,
No,
fine.
sir.
Yeah, so we'll start, seeing all of these options so that you can, whenever required, you can always, and you have any question on this, right? Anything, so even you can, ask for the next session things also. But I will say that we'll not discuss much of the next session things, because it will otherwise the current session things will get delayed, and we have to take everybody along with us. And if you have anything, suppose you are completing it before, then you can also directly connect with me sometime. Okay, you can send the queries in the group chat. Okay, we can discuss over there, and we can work with separately also on these things. Okay, fine. Yeah. Now what we are going to do is we are going to get our first data set. Okay, so first data set, and to get your data into Power BI, what you have to do, here you have the different options. Fine, to getting your data. So you can get your data using these. Here you have the Excel, Power BI data sets, or data flows, data words. These are again different, some different, databases. Okay, SQL Server. So all of these text files, from web you can get data. So all of these options you have, even you have more options other than this. So these are different options to get your data. Let's see. So these are so many different options. Almost you can connect to every kind of database. See here, we can get the data from almost every places. Right now, what we want to do is we have our data set in text format, CSV format. Okay, so we will be using the data. We'll be using the text data, which is similar to use of the database. Only thing is the connection will be different. Using the database you have to connect to, you have to have a user credentials to connect to the database when you are using with your client data, right? So here we are just going to use the text file, and which is saved in some you know in our local machine. And in other cases you can also go for the database. If you have already access, if you have downloaded or installed any database, Oracle database, or SQL Server database, any database, you can also connect to those database, in your machine, and get your data. Okay, you have to give the database options, right? All of these things, and you can get your data. Fine. So we will be working on most of the things. We'll be working on the import, like in-memory tools. As I was telling, we have the different options of getting the data, into our memory, or also connecting directly live to database, And whenever we are running our data, whenever we are having our visuals created, so that data will connect, that report will connect to the live servers and fetch the data from there. So whatever update in the servers is happening, all these updates will also reflect in your report, but that will be slow. And here what we are going to do is we are going to use with the import connection. Import connection will have your data saved in the uh, in memory, right? And this will be faster. So let's see. We are going to get our data. Fine. Yeah. And so here, what we have our data set, many data set from as I was telling, Adventure Works company. So we'll first use our sales data for 2017. So this is the file we have just got. Okay, we have added into our Power BI file. Yes, as I was telling, we can get any kind of data, okay, into Power BI. Almost every kind of data. Okay, so we will be also we'll also we'll see here what we are going to you can connect to different, you can get a data set, you can get different you can connect to database, you can connect to URL, getting data from sites. So many options, all of those options are let me just load it. So all of those options, yes, all of those options you will be able to see in this only. Okay, everything you will see. And whatever kind of data you want to add, what you want to get, you can get into Power BI. Fine. And we can here you can see so many flat files and all those things, from online services, power platforms, right, databases. So almost all of those things and other data sources. So all of those things we can get the data from. So whatever data you have, just try to get it. Okay, try to get, and let me know if you are having any difficulty. We'll just check those things. Fine. Yeah. Now, as we have got our data, into model, right? We have just loaded our data into model. Now you can see in the fields pane, here you will see all of the data, whatever you have loaded. And this is the report view. And whatever selected views will be there, okay? Whatever currently selected views are there, you will see everywhere this yellow, okay, yellow ribbon. Here you can see yellow line. Everywhere it is highlighted in yellow. That means it is currently selected. Fine. These are all currently selected, right? We have our data into Power BI now. We have a file, sales 2017 raw data, and we are seeing these are the columns available. This doesn't look good, right? We are not able to understand what is this. Okay, for all of these, right? Once we get our data, and we had seen the options, right? We had seen the settings that we are not auto detecting the columns. Okay, we are doing it manually. So you can also enable that option and check, like what will be how whether all of the columns are getting detected If not all of the columns are getting detected, then you have to do it manually also. Okay, you have to clean it. So cleaning work is, now we have to perform the cleaning work to get our data in proper format to use it in visualization. Once we have get this, right? So while we are getting this data, right, in that at that point of time, we are getting two options. One is loading it, or editing, or doing transformation. So we can just choose the transformation option and directly go to the Power Query editor. Now to transform these things, all of these things, yeah, to clean this data, what we have to do, we have to go to Power Query editor, and we can transform our data from there. Yeah. Here now you will have all the options to transform your data. Okay. You have options to clean our data, to remove some data. Okay. To change the data types, to make some additions, or to make some calculations. All of those things also you are having here. All the options are available in this at this place, right? So now to use, see here, the third row is the row with the header, right? And this row should be available at this point, the header point, header row, right? So this should be updated with the header row, but we are seeing some other row also, right, with junk values. Fine. So to use this data with our visualization, we have to clean it. That means we have to remove these columns. We have to use this first row as the header row, right? So how we are all performing all these options? Let's see. So to remove the first two rows, what we have to do? We have all of these capabilities here. Okay, and we will see each and every capabilities, from entering data, data source, all of these capabilities, removing, choosing columns, different, row operations, remove column operations, and all of these operations, and also all of these options from this tool, from column addition to these, to different tools, to transformations. So all of these things, right, we are going to work on one by one during our entire training period. Fine. Now we want to clean our data. So we want to remove our first two rows first, right, to get our header, right? So in that case, what we have to do, you are seeing here the options called remove rows or keep rows, right? So we have to remove rows. First two rows we are going to remove. We don't want to have these are junk rows, right? So we have to remove, and in this remove option, and where are you seeing this remove option, remove rows option? Under home ribbon itself. In the Power Query editor, once you go to the Power Query editor, in that Power Query editor, under home ribbon, you are seeing these remove options, remove rows options. So if you have some junk rows, or you want to remove top rows or something like, okay, those things, right? Alternate rows, the bottom rows. So all of those things, all of these options you are having here. So you can remove top rows, bottom rows, alternate rows, or duplicate rows, blank rows, okay, and remove errors. So all of these options you can utilize to clean your data here, right? So we want to remove the top rows, top two rows. So we will get option to how many rows we want to remove. We are removing top two rows, right? So and immediately you can see that there is something has happened here, right? There is one step applied, steps added. So that means what does this mean? So whatever action we perform here, whatever action we perform on this Power Query editor, right, transformation we do, right, every transformation will create its own step. Fine. So here you can see with the source, you will have the source data intact. That data is not changed. With the next step, the data is just the first two rows are removed and data is set like this, right? This next step will not going to affect the previous step, right? So now let's see how we can use the first row as the header row. Okay, what is the option do we have to use it as header row? So the first row we can use as a header row using this option, use first row as header. Fine, use first row as header. It will create again in different steps. Okay, and you can see now the first row has been used as headers. Right, so this is the way you can remove some rows and all. And now one thing you are seeing, right, with the data set, you are seeing many blank rows. The first row is blank, maybe this row is also blank, maybe, right, and this row is also blank. So how you can get rid of all of these rows which is having blank? Means all the cells should be blank, entire row should be blank. If there is some data, that will not be a blank row, right? That will have some data. In that case, in such cases, to remove the blank rows, what option do we have? We have the same option here called remove blank rows, right? So if we just give the remove blank rows option, so all of the blank rows will be removed, right? So now you don't see any blank rows here. Fine. The other, next, and you can see, you have to also, see here that every action we are taking, every activities we are performing, it is creating a step, different step here. Fine. Now, this is the work. Okay, this is where you have to be careful. Okay, you are during the requirement gathering phase, during the data exploration, when you are working with a client, right, and you got you got a requirement to create your dashboard, you got a requirement to create Power BI visualizations, right? So during the requirement phase, you have to check your data, you have to analyze your data. Okay, how many blank rows are there, how many, if this is a key column, so do we have any other value which is not needed, not required, right? The analysis, all of those analysis you have to perform, before coming to this place, right? So once you have performed, okay, I have data which is not in the correct format, I have to clean this data, then we can clean that data easily in Power BI using Power BI query editor, right? So removing, now we have removed the blank rows, we have removed, we have created a header rows, right? And we have also removed some other, options, the top rows. Now you'd like to, you have to check all of your data, and what is, if there is something wrong with your data or something like that, right? If you have some blank information, so here you can see this under this header row, right? To analyze all of your data, you can see here there is a green line. Okay, there is a green line, and this line is giving you some information. If you are hovering your mouse over there, right, it gives you some information. It gives like, okay, how many blank empty rows are there, how many error rows are there, and how many valid data is there. Fine. So this is giving you the option. You can also go to this and check the column quality. Go to view. Okay. Go to view and check the column quality, and this will give you the different options available here. Fine. Then how many we have valid rows, how many we have this error information, how many empty rows are there. So all of those are available now. Here you can see easily, right? So 0%, nothing is required. Yes.
Sir, these operations, these applied steps which are you performing, this perform on whole data which you are get from CSV.
Yeah, only on this file, current file. See here, you have to select, right?
Okay.
You will have you will get more files, right? You will also add other files, right? Other sources of data.
So,
So
so sir,
whatever
if
data source. Hmm.
so sir, if in the file there are 10 million records are present,
Hmm. Hmm.
so suppose we have to remove the blank rows. So at each step, the 10 million records are performing, considering in each step. So it will not make slow.
See, more data means definitely it will be little slower, right? So you have to, in that case, you have to plan your cleaning activities, like what you can do. Okay, while you are getting a source data directly from, while you are getting the data from the live connection, okay, you can restrict your data from that place. Okay, we don't want to use maybe 10 million rows, in which case you will get when you are just dumping all of your data to Power BI, right? In that
Yes,
case,
sir.
in that case you will have, but for in the real scenarios, you will not use all of the data, right? You will be either you will summarize your data, okay, aggregated data you will get, or you will do something like okay, 3 years, like last 5 years data, something like that, or you may have the millions of rows. That's also correct, and you will get, and that capability also you can insert that data. That will make little slower, okay, that will make little slower during because our machine will not have that RAM, right? If we have that RAM, then you can use that. You can get that data, that much of data. So that can be done. But what you can do for applying different steps, right? You can get a small set of data. Okay, you can get a small set of data, and in that case, you will just apply all the steps required. You will get a test set of data. Okay, fine, for creating your visuals, for creating this. Then within that test set of data, whatever various cleaning activities you want to perform, that you will be able to do during your development phase, right? And then while you are publishing the data there in the services, you are publishing the whole data, entire data. That will have enough space, right? In the Power BI service. So
Oh,
during that time, you will not have that issue. Fine.
okay, sir. Thank you.
Hmm. So yeah, uh, right now what we were seeing is how we can check the quality of our columns, different columns. Now, based on the quality, we have to perform the cleaning activities, different cleaning activities. Here you can see it is showing me the correct data. It is showing me the data is correct, order ID and unique ID. This is correct, right? This is a key column, but this should not be duplicate. You should not have any duplicate data. So that is one of the issue. You have to find out. You have to check yourself. Okay, this data. Okay, whether it has duplicate data, it has something else, right? It now you can see any data. So this is not the correct, because this is a unique key, unique column, right? And this is a unique column, and in this case, this is also a key column, right? And key column should not have the any values or something like that. This should always have the valid data. Fine. So here, what we have to perform the different, again, cleaning activities. One of the cleaning activities is we have to remove all of the unwanted data from this column, because this is order ID. It should have valid order ID. It is the order table, right? Order information. So it should always have a valid order ID, and it should not have these any kind of values. That means this is not correct. So we have to filter this data out from this data set. So what method we have to filter this data? Just click on this drop down, And from here, you can apply the filter. Okay, text filters or any filters you can apply here. So now here we have the data value as NA. We just don't want to include this data into our data set. So this way you are just removing this NA value. Fine. So this has filtered the rows. So similarly, you can check with other data, with other columns also, like whatever columns you have, different columns you have to check the different quality of your column data, right? And perform your activities, whatever cleaning activities you have. Now in this case, we have this order ID, which is unique. It should not be duplicate, but we are seeing duplicate data. Fine. So
Yes.
we have to, yeah.
No, no, nothing. Just
Okay, fine. So we can also remove the entire, if there is some rows which is duplicate, okay, having duplicate rows information, so that can be removed using the remove duplicates. And if you just remove duplicate, if it will remove all of the duplicate rows, all of the duplicate rows are removed. Fine. So this is one of the, these are the basic, very basic activities we will be always performing with our data set. These all of these activities. Now you can see this is little bit, improving. Now we have only 1% empty cells here in this product ID. Okay, we can also check like what are those empty cells. You can even check what are those blank cells. Here we have this some blank data, right? Okay, so we can just for checking purpose, we can check what is that blank cells. You can even check these kind of things. Okay, what are these blank cells? So there is no data on that. So this 26 should not be available in our data set, right? So clear filter. We have another called 26 should not be available, right? So this 26 should not be available because it doesn't have any data. Okay, if it were valid, what we have done is, okay, maybe something we have. Fine. We have to just remove these 26. And remove that 26 and load everything is fine. So it is just giving me this. So it is not, let's see. So we'll see. Yeah. The other thing is we are going to see it like, okay, in this column, see here. There are the color coding, right? Here, the green, right? Green is, it says like all the rows having data, all of these rows having data. There is no empty cell. Okay, the entire part is green, 100%, right? And here also we are seeing 100% green. That means we have values for all of the cells, right? But in this case, you can see this is 100% empty. 19 out of this, all of this, right, are all empty, which is not, that means the quality of the data is not correct, not good, right? Quality of the data is not good. That means we will let's just check the different data with it, and we have all blank NA or null values. So this is of no use, right? We have to remove this column. This column should not be used because it doesn't signify any value to our data set, right? So that can be removed from this, remove column option. Also, other than just remove column, if you want to just go back to the previous step, you can go to the previous step here, or you can just delete this step from here, and you can go back. You can just go to the original step. If you have, suppose we have, there's something need to be updated. So to update in the previous steps somewhere, to update in the previous steps, what we have to do is we can just go to the filter options, filter rows options. Here, suppose we want to just update something on filter rows steps. Then you have to go to this gear icon, click this gear icon. Fine. And with this, you can make updates, different updates you want to do. Fine. This rows not having unique ID, not having this 26. Fine. Or it is also, and also not having, does not equal to 26, something like that, right? We were seeing that we want to apply these fields, or all of these, right? So all of these we want to just remove it. Right? So now it is just we have to give and, where NA, and so filter rows is just applying. There is NA. So all of these, right, options we can, does not equal to 26 and does not equal to NA should be available in our data, right? So all of these options we can apply to clean our data. You can do advanced. Here you can see in the filtered option, you have the advanced level of filter option. Fine. So you can add different clause to filter again more, something, more on this. So all of these options you will be able to apply here. And to update, you have to go to this. If you want to update any of the existing already applied steps, so you can just go to the header icon and just click it, and you can go to you can update the steps. Okay. So here now we are going to this filter options is there, and after that we have applied this remove. If see, we have applied the step in the previous steps, so it will affect the any later steps, applied steps. This filtered rows steps we have applied updates on this, so it will also apply the the same. It will also apply all the updates also in the next steps. Okay, it will affect the next steps. So that will be like so that's how you have to also check your applied steps when you are it may also give error for the next step, so you have to rectify those things according to the previous steps. There may be some if you are updating any previous steps, so your next step may give some error, so you have to check all of those things also. Okay, you have to take care of all of these things. Yeah. So we can also remove this column just by right click and remove the column. And you want to remove other columns and you want to keep some column, you can use this remove other columns, and whatever columns is selected, only that column will remain in this step. Okay. Now you just want to remove this column, you can just remove this column. Fine. So that's how you will be performing all of our cleaning activities, and all of the basic cleaning activities We'll continue these activities in the next class also. We'll see the different other options, right? All of those options, and we'll see one by one. We'll cover all of these, different cleaning activities. Fine. If you have any question till now.
Sir, can you share this PBIX in the group?
Yeah, we will be sharing all of these things. We will be sharing the PBI. Okay, I'll be sharing the data. Okay, and also the assignment data. All those things also we will be sharing, and the recordings we will be sharing. Fine. Going to create. Going to give you access to I think Google Drive only. So we'll be giving you access to Google Drive and keep all these files in that. Okay. So yeah, please provide your email ID so that I will give you the access to Google Drive.
Okay,
Right?
sir.
Now, once you are done with your Power Query editor, editing option. So what you have to do, you have to apply the changes, right? Whatever you have done here, you have to apply the changes. That is close and apply here. So it will be also closing, applying your changes and closing this. Now you will see this will get changed, updated. Now this is updated. Fine. So we have a lot of again cleaning activities, and also we have to change the data types and all those things, applying the correct data types and all those things. Okay, detecting and yeah, we'll do all of those activities. Okay, string activities, then numeric activities. Okay, all those transformations we'll see in the upcoming classes. For today, we have just seen some basic cleaning activities. 1, 2. So we'll see in the upcoming classes. We'll see more on this. Fine. Yeah. So that's all. If you have any question till now, and these are some small things. So and very basic things. Do you have any question?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, fine. Okay. Yeah, and raise your any of your concern, whatever concerns you will be having. Okay, any things, any doubt you may have in your mind, right? Do post it in the either in the group, target group, right? So that everyone also will be knowing that, and I will, as soon as possible, I will also reply on any of the doubts. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sure, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Then yeah. After we have got our data, you can see in this is the raw data format, and we'll also discuss these things, and this we don't have much thing on this data view. Okay. We are just seeing the raw data, whatever we have included in our module, whatever we have included in Power BI, right here. So whatever data set is available in the model, so that we will be able to check these in the raw data format. So we'll that can be done using the data view. Okay. So we'll see all of these things in the upcoming classes. And that's all I have for today's class, today's session, and already 26 minutes over. So you people, when do you have your office? What time? Are you working from home or going to office?
Sir, going to office from 9 to 6.
Oh, 9 to 6. So I think I have to, yeah, I have to strictly, follow the timing. Maybe just end the sessions at 9, sharply at 9, right?
No, sir. No problem at all. I will manage.
No problem.
No, sir. No issues
Okay.
there.
Okay. Okay then. That's okay. Fine. Yeah. Thank you then. Yeah, we'll meet again on Thursday. So Wednesday we don't have any class. Okay, and Thursday and Friday. So Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. We'll have classes on these 4 days. Fine?
Okay, sir.
Yes.
So, sir, in
Okay.
this course, we use which database like SQL Server or
No, we'll use all the files. Okay. And the same
okay,
data is also available in the SQL Server.
okay,
And whatever we are going to use, we are going to use the in-memory capability, that is import option. Import option means the data will be saved in memory.
okay, sir.
Okay.
So then view is loaded, or suppose we can get the data from the API. These things also cover.
Ha. Yeah, everything from API you can get data. We'll cover the things like we will get some data from, yeah, some site. Okay. And based on that data, we will be applying some calculations. Okay. How we can use that data directly from, the online data, how we can use uh, for our purpose, so that we can see. Okay, we'll see all those things, live data, how we will be able to apply for different calculations. So we'll check, see also that of those things. Okay.
Okay, sir.
uh,
Thank you.
yeah, yeah. So that's all I have for this class. So we'll meet on Thursday then. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, bye.